Like,
Yeah,
now.
okay.
So, I didn't know if you were like disappearing. Okay.
I don't think that's what I was like. I was waiting. Happy Monday, friends. I'm Ernmardia.
And I'm Sean.
And it's us, your fearless guides to all things Nine, with the ultimate special guest here on a brand new episode of the
Nine Outline. It's like the most fearless guide to literally all things Nine.
Listen, seriously, I believe this special guest actually coined the phrase of us being the fearless guides to all things Nine. So,
yeah, Darren, roll the tape.
Right. So, without further ado, allow us to please present you Amy Shaw, President and CEO of 9 PBS. Hey, Amy, how are you?
Thank you. This is so exciting to be on the Nine Outline.
It's exciting for us, like, honestly. Like, we're hyped right now.
Yeah,
we don't see each other anymore.
I know.
No, we've been meaning to have you on the show since you took over as our CEO and president last year, like right before lockdown. You really inherited a fun problem to solve.
Bet you didn't see this coming.
So we've got a lot to talk about. We have a lot to catch up about and a lot of questions to ask you that our viewers are just dying to know the answers to, I'm sure.
So, Amy, first of all, tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do as president and CEO of 9 PBS.
It's so funny because someone asked me that recently, what I do, and I thought, well, doesn't everybody know? But it's a very good question because there's all kinds of things that are, so cool and so interesting, and there's all kinds of mundane things as well. So, we're at the PBS station serving the St. Louis region. Really proud to be the first station in the country that was licensed to our community. Never before had that happened. It was always a school or a state or an institution. So we're licensed to the St. Louis community. So not only our audience, but our owners really are the St. Louis community. So what I do is make sure that we run on air across our 4 channels, that everything happens the way it's supposed to, that we're financially resourced, that we're compliant to the FCC and all the things that we're doing there, take care of our staff, and just grow 9 PBS as a community institution serving the needs of our region, which encompasses everything. I mean, as the leader, it all stops with you. It doesn't mean I have to do all of it, but I have to make sure it gets done. And my goal is to make sure it gets done joyfully.
Well, joyfully, for sure. You do a good job and you do it joyfully. Like, I love it.
That's great. And I love that you just really talked about the service that we offer, because that is what makes us special. We don't represent corporate interests. We really just exist to deliver the content that helps our community live better lives. Like, at the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to. And I love that you made that such a key part of your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really special place to be. Taking all of what you just said, what you think your role in this organization is, looking however many years in the future, what do you want your legacy to be at 9 PBS? What do you want people to remember your work to be like?
That's so interesting. I haven't had a tremendous amount of time to think about that because, it has been such a year. And then, as so many people know, even before that, my trajectory career-wise, I've been at the station for 17 years. It'll be 18 years actually in August, which is a very long time, but it's always been so different. And then in April 2019, I became the interim president and CEO after the very untimely and very sudden passing of our CEO, Jack Galmesh, who was a legacy maker, and he did so many things to ensure that 9 was strong and healthy and a real powerhouse in our industry of PBS stations, but also in the community. And so, I think about that and I think about what his legacy was, and that can be very intimidating. But I also feel fortunate, maybe overselling it a little bit, but fortunate to have been placed in this role in this time. Nobody wants a pandemic, but as I've said all along, a crisis, I really do believe, makes you more of who you really are. And we know some people have, hoarded hand sanitizer and done terrible things. That tells me a lot about who those people are anyway. And then there are the people like our team at 9 PBS who have doubled down on commitment to community, been more resilient, more human, more vulnerable in terms of saying what I know, what I don't know, seeking more guidance from our colleagues and our 9 team. And so I think the legacy that I would like to see for my role, again, since I'm only like 29, I probably won't be retiring for a long time.
Great, goodness. I thought you were like fresh out of college, please.
When I retire at 35, I think the legacy really is that I helped build a strong and healthy team that grew and prospered and helped make 9 PBS even more essential in the St. Louis region, and that we bucked so many of the trends that public media stations see of not being well-resourced, sort of foraging for every dime, although every dime really matters. We're scrappy in that way, but that we are able to expand our footprint and service to the community and be a real model of what a community licensed public media organization is. And that we've ridden the wave of the future in terms of all these changes in technology and content consumption. Because I think a lot of people think there's this either or of you can either watch Netflix and stream a bunch of stuff, or you're sort of a fuddy-duddy and you watch public television. And really what we're finding is it's a whole blend, a melange of all of the above. And so I think we occupy a very special place in people's lives. And we've got our great 9 PBS mask. And I'm so proud when I wear that mask. One, it's just a super comfy mask. And it's really good.
Seconded.
And then the brand, I find people, sort of doing a double take or saying like, oh, I love your station, or I love PBS. And it just makes me so proud. And so this idea that we've lived up to the community's expectations and beyond that, but I think I'm still figuring out the legacy part of it. It feels like a long way to go, but if we made it through this last year, the 9 months where I was interim CEO were really tough for all kinds of reasons. And then became the CEO on February 4th, 2020. And as many people know, the week before that, I was traveling on business and broke my shoulder.
Literally, the paint was still drying on your office walls when the lockdown happened. Everybody.
I remember you saying, hey, you should come by and see my office. And it was like, everyone go home.
Which is funny because, I meant it to be a place where that people didn't tiptoe in and like, I'm sorry about it, but so I've added different seating and, there's places for people to sit and be and talk. And so I'm really looking forward to when we get to be back together again. As much as it's been good to kind of get some balance in my life personally, and I know a lot of people's lives, and have felt so fortunate to work from home, I miss the interaction. I miss the bouncing ideas, and I miss that energy. And the building just isn't the same without the people.
Yeah. I love that you emphasized just being put in this position at this time. And like we said, none of us really saw this time coming. None of us expected a pandemic or to be still in the position that we're in, working from home, But tell us a bit about what was that like to have to make that tough but safe decision to keep everyone safe, transitioning into working from home, let alone it being your first year doing that. And what is that this time taught you about your career and yourself?
Yeah, it's so interesting. A couple of, one, I was really crestfallen just because you think getting this position, which, I vied for very hard. I was very thoughtful about what I thought we needed to do. And then weeks after that, the world is shutting down, and just as the pandemic was coming upon us, the first week of March, we had our March board meeting, and our board chair and vice chair sat me down and said, here's the deal. This is yours. You're going to have to make some hard decisions. You have to cast this in your image. We don't want you to be Jack. because he was a larger than life person. We need you to be you. And that was really freeing, because as we were leading into the pandemic, a couple of things occurred. And I remember very clearly, we were out to dinner on a Sunday evening, and that's when they were announcing that schools were closing down. And it became very clear to me that we had a role to play. And so our team mobilized very, very quickly. But it also became very clear that we couldn't be safe in our building. That just wasn't going to be the right thing to do. And even though we're media and we are considered an essential service and we could have stayed in the building, that wasn't going to be the right thing to do for staff. And so in order for our work to continue, the safest thing to do was to go home, and for people to have everything they needed at home. And that took some time, and to get everybody wrapped around this idea that we can still do all these things and we can do them safely at home. I mean, that was really a shift, because as you know, our culture has always been workaholism, martyrdom in terms of how much you're working, and there's no possible way that you can be working if you're not physically at your desk. And so I think we've proven all of that wrong. So I think we've learned a lot from this. But in terms of making that decision, it was actually pretty easy, because step one is our staff. And in the process of getting this job, I had outlined 4 key things. And one of the key things was the health and well-being of our staff, and that we were going to be a high-performing culture with high expectations, but we were going to do it joyfully, and we were going to take care of each other. And with the pandemic, that bumped to number 1, because if we didn't take care of our staff, there was no, people were dying.
Yeah.
And colleagues at other public television stations have had their colleagues die. And, the stakes were very, very high. So it was a really easy decision, and our staff made it very easy by just coming together and rallying around what we were all trying to accomplish, and doing it in a totally different way, in a time that was just so hard for everybody personally and professionally.
Well, I'm glad that you talked about keeping the staff safe and taking care of the staff's needs, because as our first female woman CEO and president,
round of applause.
We've made a lot of choices, and we've changed a lot of how our organization operates.
I'm still super hyped after that interview. Amy is just so amazing. I could listen to her all day.
And the good news is, because we work for her, we do get to do that.
That is true. We are lucky.
And guess what? Because you work for us, our little viewers out there, you have to listen to us talk about 2 really awesome shows that you can catch on 9 PBS before we leave for the day. So
right now, the viewers are looking at their pay stubs and like, where am I getting paid? How do I work for you?
Yeah. So first up, really quickly, we've got Austin City Limits this Saturday, April 10th at 11 o'clock p.m. with Janalle Monae. She's going to sing songs from Dirty Computer. It's the album that kind of like launched her into superstardom. She was already like a rising star, but that's, I think, really some of her best work. It's ambitious, it's artistic, and it's going to make you dance. So tune in to Janalle Monae on Austin City Limits this Saturday, April 10th at 11 o'clock p.m.
I'm super hyped about Janalle Monae, I will say, because I was recently watching my new favorite show, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and one of her songs was featured. Do I remember the title of the song? No. But do I see in the subtitles that it said Janalle Monae's blah, blah, blah playing? And I was like, ow! Okay. So I'm super into this. I will definitely be watching that. I just love her. Love her attitude. Love her songs. She's great. So.
Well... So, I mean, she's a great songwriter. We have another writer from the American canon to talk about. You're excited.
Listen, y'all. Writer from the American canon for sure. Look, it's Ernest Hemingway. All right, he's coming at you. Guys, this time, April 5th through the 7th, 7 to 9 each night, Ken Burns is presenting to us another extraordinary docuseries, and it's just called Hemingway. It's in the name. It tells you everything that you need to know. You can go home now. Just kidding. Turn it on every day, April 5th through the 7th. Guys, I told you this a couple weeks ago. I will tell you again. I adore Ernest Hemingway. I don't know what it is about him. Just him strolling in the streets of Paris in A Movable Feast. The sun also rises. Like, it's okay, But I just like hearing his quotes. He's always very straightforward. He's very succinct. I really, really love him. And so I'm thrilled to learn more about his life. I'm thrilled to see the spin or the take that Ken Burns presents us with, the classic zoom into the picture, Sean, that I know you love. So yeah, I'm super hyped to learn all about his life, all about learning about, what he wrote, why he wrote it, So Hemingway, April 5th through the 7th, 7 to 9. And I think I told you this last time, if you come home late and you're like, oh man, I missed it. Don't you worry, guys, because it'll just repeat right after.
Yeah. Or you can watch it on your phone with the 9 PBS app, the PBS Passport app, and make it truly a movable feast.
Ooh, maybe I'll watch it like that, like walking around my apartment on my phone, cooking a feast. Maybe I'll cook a feast while watching Hemingway.
The innovation. I love it. You can catch 9 PBS just about any old where, on your computer, on our television. And as our new CEO, thank you so much for joining us again out in the ether. Amy said, we're really doing the best we can to meet you everywhere and to serve our community. So it's never been a better time to be a 9 PBS viewer.
Very true.
Like always, I'm Sean.
And like sometimes, I'm Ernmardia.
We'll see you next week on another brand new episode of The Nine Outline. Bye.
I've been blowing a lot of kisses this episode. I just feel like a lot of love in my